Good morning, everybody. It is my privilege to be invited as your mid-campaign speaker this morning on behalf of our parish's 2012 Every Member Canvas. For those of you who have tirelessly planned and organized our parish efforts in this campaign, thank you. To those of you who have directed the work of others or have given encouragement along the way, thank you. To those of you who have not yet become involved in our Every Member Canvas, I thank you too, for in your hands rest the seeds of our newest and potentially greatest opportunities for giving. This year, our stewardship theme calls for us all to have a shared sense of urgency in building up a more loving and giving world. That call starts with us. We are reminded time and time again that we are not alone in our world. As so beautifully sung in the Rodgers and Hammerstein musical classic Carousel, you'll never walk alone. This same message was preached by our Lord generations earlier, however, as he reminded his flock that I am with you always, even until the close of the age. A prayer that I use in my own life is to never be alone in our world as I start a new day. God, be with me today. Even when I forget to ask, I know that God is with me. I feel God's presence in my own life, and I know it, and you will too. Please be prayerful as you consider your pledge for 2012, and remember that you will never walk alone. We together, all of us, are responsible for this place, for ourselves, and most importantly, for each other. Whatever your occupation, social status, political affiliation, or family background, we share these common obligations together. No one else is going to fulfill these obligations for us. Why? Because no one shares the love of this parish as we do right here, right now. I see this family ministered to each day by the pastoral care from our beloved parish deacon Walter Johnson, by the efforts of our rector Father Davis, and assisting clergy, and am grateful for the loving acts of charity by Howard Gause and Craig Coogan as they manage the affairs of our physical plant, for Les Rumsey and our vestry, who continue to manage the affairs of our parish beautifully, for Jim Keltner, John West, Howell Thompson, and our choir, as they bring beautiful music to our corporate worship each week, for Joseph Warren and his team of office helpers who keep our operations moving seamlessly behind the scenes, for our ushers, lectors, acolytes, and altar guild who help transport us from the present to the eternal. The list goes on, and the names I could list would take far longer to recite than the time we have together today. The time is now. The needs are great. Standing on the shoulders of those who have gone before us in this place, our shared obligation is to help in building a better world, one gift at a time, preparing a place for the children of tomorrow, our children, to stand. You see, giving for the future can help us in thanking all those who have helped us in the past, setting the groundwork for a better world. Your acts of selfless giving, whether it be in offering a smile or hug to one in need as you enter this beautiful and holy space, singing or playing a beautiful piece of music during the Mass, giving a hot cup of coffee to an unfamiliar stranger at our breakfast club, helping to fund one of our shared ministries, comforting a friend on our patio, or at the piano, or in the pew seated next to you, sharing a sandwich with a patient at County USC Hospital, keeping the barbecue glowing at a parish event in the backyard of the rectory, helping a newcomer by sharing an order of service during the Mass, replacing a candle, polishing a pew, filing bills in our parish office, or ironing a church linen. Help in keeping our shared mission alive. You see, friends, it matters not what you give, though there are obligations that we as a parish need to face and meet every day, but that you give. We are individual members in this beautiful life portrait, one generation to the next. Oftentimes, I myself have gotten involved in the mundane minutia that enters our lives. How can I make a difference? What will my gift really mean? What will it really matter if I get behind on my pledge? The love of my life, David Anderson, will tell you that I'm very routine-oriented. I have a certain schedule that I follow each morning as I wake to begin my day. I start the coffee, I pick up the morning paper, I unload the dishwasher, fold the laundry, and I work out in the garage. But as I enter the garage, I often give myself an opportunity to admire David's masterful painting in progress, or, at the very least, to offer thanksgiving to God silently for inspiring the love of my life to create beauty so effortlessly and love doing it. You see, the joy that David has in creating his art is the same joy we share as we give toward our stewardship mission for 2012. As I look at David's work in progress closely, I'm often awestruck by how a simple brushstroke, seemingly insignificant close up, gives an entirely different look to the painting when I step back. You see, that simple stroke is a small part of the bigger picture, literally. Your gift is part of that bigger picture, too. That beautiful brushstroke, placed so carefully upon a blank canvas, is as meaningful as your gift toward our 2012 campaign. Were that brushstroke to be missing, the painting would suffer. And so it is with building up God's kingdom on earth, one pledge at a time. Today, we often feel constrained by our own domestic affairs. We think of our own future with hopes of a better world at a time of a double-dip recession, and worries of how we'll make ends meet. May I remind us, however, that it was the dear widow in the parable of the widow's mite who gave the most she had when she gave as much as she had. So simple that this message of someone with such meager means would stay with us in our hearts for generations. I'm not suggesting that we give everything we have. What I am suggesting is this: whatever your means, whatever your blessings, whatever you can, give. Give that little bit over and above what you really need, and see how that gift returns to you 100-fold. Think back to the children's story of the stone soup, where peasants from all over the village gave their own scraps, their precious, meager portions, to create something greater than the sum of the ingredients combined. A simple soup was created from the gift of an everyday stone and was transformed into something wonderful. We are transformed out of the everyday gifts of bread and wine at the altar behind me. You transform our parish with your gift too. Life is beautiful and surrounds us on all sides. I have proof. God has given me someone who has been the absolute love of my life for almost 30 years. I can also prove that love is around us now by asking that you just look to your left and to your right. Now look at the space around you. You all have helped in some way to make this a holy place where love is found and where hearts are freed to change the world. We're all here, not because we have to be, but because we want to be. God calls us here as family and presents us with his gift of life so as not to face the world alone. So, if you've already had the talk or are looking forward to it, remember that our time is now and our needs are great. Thank you all for being here today and for sharing this message with me.